fun bodyweight glute exercises that you are probably not doing. Let's dive straight in. My first exercise is a kneeling hip drive. So we're going to take it down to the ground. For a kneeling hip drive, you are, of course, kneeling. Hip drive is going to start by lowering back just to where your glutes skim your heels. From here, you're going to lift up, roll your hips under, and give a little bit of booty squeeze at the top. So you're coming down and back up with that squeeze. Feel that activate right in your glutes. Okay, that is our first exercise, and it's a kneeling hip drive. Okay. The second exercise is my bottoms up lunge. So I'm staying on the ground for this one with my knees, but we're going to take it to standing from here. So like that hip drive, you start chest up on your knees. You're going to sit back, and as you come up now, I'm bringing one leg up, and then I'm going to rise to the top and lift that front knee or the other knee. Then you step it back like a reverse lunge, tuck your other leg, and back down. Then we're going to do the other side. So lift up, lift, back down into a lunge here. Don't let your knee bang when you do that, just nice and soft. Bring your knees down and sit back. So you're stepping, lifting, back down, and all the way. So as you go through this movement, I really want you feeling it in your glutes. Keep your core tight, but you lift. Oop. You might lose your balance like I do. Down and back to the bottom. Okay, that was a bottoms up lunge. Next one, this is a little plyometric-y. You're gonna be bouncing a little bit with this, but I'm gonna help you modify too. This is a skater. So a side skater, if you start this off, you're gonna step to the side and take your back leg, toe touch the ground. Then you're going to the other side, same thing with your opposite toe onto the ground there. So you can start off here with it nice and slow, and then we're gonna take it up to speed as you go along. So there we go. So that side skater will get your heart rate up, but you're gonna feel it in your glute right there, especially as you kind of get into that lunge on the side. Okay, we are back down to the ground for marching hip lifts. So I'm gonna take it down and lay back. You want your feet, your knees bent with your feet about a foot or two away from your glutes. Lower back is pressed into the ground and abs are nice and tight. So arms straight down. From here, lift your glutes up and really engage in your booty right there. Feel it. Core's tight, booty's engaged, arms are down. So from here, you're lifting one leg at a time and doing a march. So bringing it up, keeping that 90-degree angle with your knees, and up. Now, one thing I see people do a lot here is let their hips start to drop as they're bringing their leg up. You want to fight that. You want to keep your glutes up nice and tight so that you come up and down. And as you're doing it, you're really feeling that through your hamstring and through that junction between your glutes and your hamstring. That glute ham tie-in. All right, lift it up. That is a marching glute bridge. Okay, our next movement, we're back up. So heading back up for this one, and I'm gonna be doing squat jumps. If jumping is not accessible for you, or if your knees bother you when you do jumps, that's okay. You can go quickly through a squat movement, like an air squat. But for the squat jump, you're starting nice and tall. You're sitting all the way back until you have a 90-degree bend in your knees, not your ankles, in your knees. Sit your glutes down, and then powerfully you're exploding up and bringing your hands behind you. So you're jumping and bringing it slowly back down. So it's really that lift that pushes your glutes through a straight position as you come up. All right. We're taking it back to the ground for my next exercise, which is a frog pump. I always thought these were kind of silly as far as the name, but it kind of makes sense. You look like a frog. So you're gonna take your feet, place the soles of your feet together, heels are together, and legs are open with your knees out. Now you might be limited a little bit on your flexibility here, but try to let your knees fall open as much as you can. From here, we're gonna lean back, and you don't want your feet very far from you. You wanna try to pull them in as close as you can there. So hands are down, and you are pressing through the side of your foot and using your glutes and lifting up for that frog pump. So you come down here, squeeze as you come up. And you want to make sure you're bracing with your core. So you don't want to let your back arch too much. You want to make sure this is coming all from your glutes as you go. And you'll kind of slowly roll down with your spine. So squeeze at the top and press down. And what you'll notice with all of these body weight glute exercises, you have to do the movement really in a controlled way. If you are flying through the motions, if you're using momentum, your glutes are not going to be what works. It's like your legs are going to take over, your core is going to take over. Really make sure you're concentrating on activating your glutes through the movement, okay? All right, those were frog pumps. My next one I'm going to need a chair for. So I'm going to bring my chair in. If you have an exercise bench, fabulous, use that. If you're at home doing these body weight glute exercises, a chair works too, or maybe a coffee table, or you can even start with your steps. So this is a bench step up with a glute pulse. For this movement, I'm going to start with one foot on the chair and chest is lifted, okay? So we're going to go from here. I'm going to step up, pressing through my heel particularly, really using your quad, but also squeezing your glute both on the bottom and the back. And then when you get to the top, you're pulsing just a little bit, a small movement here, and back down. So for this one, I'm going to stay on the same leg and squeeze at the top. So that step up, squeeze, okay? Check out how slow this movement should be. This is not something where you're just jumping up and down with. Push and extra squeeze, really tighten that glute and bring it back down. You can alternate that move if you want, where you're going one side at a time, or you can just stick on one side and then move to the other. So squeeze at the top, that little extra pulse, and back down. But you can see through all of this, so quad engagement, glute engagement, and then extra pulse for the right side of your glute. Really hitting all the way through and up. So bench step up with a glute pulse. All right, okay, getting my chair out of the way. Move your bench if you're using one. This next one is called a Cossack Squat. Sometimes it's referred to as a side lunge shift. But you're gonna start with a nice wide lunge here. And you're going to one side, coming down, and as you come down, you're letting the other toe come up. Keep your chest lifted. Now, I can already feel a nice stretch here in my inner thigh. A lot of times you can hold this position as a stretch, but that's not what a Cossack squat is. So heel is lifted, engage here, and then you're shifting to the other side and squatting down, letting the heel on that right side now come up. I like to hold my hands in front and keep my chest lifted and squat. So you're going to be a little limited by your flexibility. That's okay. Just go as low as you can with it. If you are hyper flexible like I am and you can come all the way down, fabulous. If not, this is a great motion too. You're going to feel it here. So body weight movements, nice and control. The real point of when you're engaging your glutes here is on that twist up where I can feel it on the leg that's straight. So as you come through and you're twisting there, you're going to feel the engagement of your glute. Okay, and that is a Cossack squat. Now I've got a fun combination for you. So we did the hip drives, we did the step up with bench step ups, there you go. We did the hip drive, we did the step ups with the glute pulse. I'm gonna put that all together for one banger of a glute exercise. So back with my chair, lining this guy up. It might take you a time or two to figure out the distance you need here, but I'm gonna start by being down in my hip drive. So from here, I'm gonna drive up, lift that right leg, then step from here, up, and lift. So it's literally all the way from the ground to a step, up, and drive at the top. So I think I'm going a little too fast, so I'm gonna slow this down. So squat, hip drive, really squeeze your glutes, bring up the front, bring up the leg, and then if what I find myself doing is letting my toe push, that's okay if you need to, that'd be a modification, but you really wanna keep your toe under so that you're engaging that front leg. So from here, it's the lift. Oh, wow, that's tough. Step the foot up on the chair, and then lifting at the top. Slow and control, back down, and squat. Woo! That is a burner. So up and tall, step it back. And when I step back, don't let your knee go over your toes 90 degrees. I want you to keep that angle. Whoop, bring it down and back. Okay, so all together, that movement is really gonna hit your legs, glutes, core even. So give that one a try. All right, the last exercise I have for you today, this is a combination as well, and this is a side step up with a knee lift. So I'm gonna keep my trusty chair here. Keep your weight bench or your coffee table. If it doesn't have wheels, if it has wheels, please don't do this. Okay, side step up with a knee lift. So I'm gonna start standing next to my chair this time. Chest is lifted, and I'm stepping one foot up. I'm gonna really push through my heel. You really wanna drive down through your heel as you stand up, and then you're gonna lateral lift to the side and bring it back down, okay? So it's a step up, lateral lift, and back down. So you're getting the glute engagement primarily on the step up between your quads and your glutes and hamstrings. It's hitting them all. And then as you get to the top, we're really gonna hit the outside of your glutes and your quads here. So back down. You'll probably need to counterbalance yourself, like I am, with your other arm, okay? And let me show you that from the other side. So make sure you do switch it up. So you're standing tall, chest is lifted, and you're keeping your hips in line. So step it up, lift out, and back down. And you might find that one side is a little more flexible than the other, and that you can bring it up just a little higher. What I want you to avoid though, is that don't let your hip turn in to get the lift or turn out to get the lift. You really want to go out to the side as you step up. So that kind of side lateral lift there. Okay, there are my 10 bodyweight glute exercises that you are probably not doing. If this video has helped you, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit like, subscribe, and check back soon for more great videos.